Okay, got another infrared sauna question today. I can already tell this is going to be one of my favorites again. This seems to be a trend lately, but don't want to leave these people hanging, so I will address it. They do ask some good questions. This lady sent me a question that says, "Hi Matt, thanks for sharing your sauna findings. I like the way you present your reviews. This is just a really big purchase for us, so we're trying to fact check everything the best we can. I know you say Radiant is tops, but I asked in a Facebook group and they said Radiant is bad. Now I see your articles clarifying between the two, just wanted to be sure. Also, there's another group member that says you changed your sauna recommendations after someone else asked about Radiant Health. Here are the responses. Bret says they're bad and high EMF, not sure what to think. Here's the link. Is this true? If so, why? Did you change? Just want to make sure whatever sauna we buy, even if it's a Clearlight, Sunlighten, whatever, is going to last. Thank you." Okay, so good questions. Obviously questions taken from my favorite sauna group again. Let's go open this up and see what it says. All right, so this is another one of these where people are asking about different saunas for everyone else that doesn't have context. Maybe I'll take a screenshot of this and try and put it on the screen so you can see. But Pam says, "We're looking at buying a sauna from Radiant Health Saunas. Anybody have an opinion on these companies?" People go on to say, you know, Google them, lots of companies, BS, check out my videos. Thanks, that was helpful. Dale says, only a few months ago, Matt was in, oh, this is what you're asking about. Let's start at the top though. I'll get to this because you deserve some type of explanation. Say the Radiant is bad. Yeah, the Radiant sauna from Amazon is terrible. But you're also giving me links to the guy that runs the sauna group, Bret, and he says Radiant Health is bad. You know, Bret and I'm banned from this sauna group, so that's why I get all irritable sometimes when people send me shit or links or whatever responses in the sauna group, because the reason that I got banned is because I challenged the sauna group owner. And so he doesn't like that. Basically, if you don't recommend anything besides Clearlight, or if you say good things about anything besides Clearlight, you're done. He just doesn't allow that kind of stuff. People think that the sauna group is like an unbiased, you know, opinion thing, and it's not. It's somebody's for-profit enterprise. They make a shitload of money from that sauna group. I'm not sure. Anyway, it's neither here nor there. The point is, you know, I don't know how to respond to this stuff anymore, because every time I turn around, there are claims made by this sauna group owner and people in this group and all this kind of stuff that have really only ever been in one or two sauna brands ever, you know, in their entire existence on Earth, right? And so when people start saying that Radiant Health, or they lump all kinds of stuff in here, like Finnleo and Tylo, Helo. I just did one of these last week where I got all bent out of shape because these people are saying this stuff with no experience or real world anything to back it up, and then I get the emails and it creates a lot of work for me. And so I can only ignore, I try to ignore them as much as I can, to be honest with you, just because this is a complete waste of my time. You know, these people are perpetuating stuff in the herd mentality, and then it picks up momentum inside the Facebook group, and then the members basically continue that, and it just spirals out of control with misinformation. A lot of things that are said in this group are way outside of the realm of being factual or scientifically backed up, or most everything is like opinion based. I wouldn't even say anecdotal. But anyway, you know, if my only thing that I know how to do now as far as responses, you can go back and watch other videos, but basically I don't have all day to sit here and read comments and read all this criteria that this sauna group owner lays out, you know, what's a good sauna and a bad sauna. I want to know one thing, two things really. Has the person that we're discussing, we're having this discourse with, have they been in the sauna brands that we're discussing? Because if not, we could just turn the video off right now, because there's really no reason to continue, right? If you've never been in the brands that you're saying are bad or you're saying that are good, this is a waste of breath, and it's a waste of your time watching this and everything else. Because some of this stuff is just getting way out of control. It's totally ridiculous. You know, I don't know. That's my That's my stance on it. Is how many saunas have the people personally been in? Have they even been in the brand that they're bad mouthing or saying that's good or whatever? And so, but there is a part in here. Let's see what else you asked. So the Radiant Health sauna from radianthealthsaunas.com, the one that I promote on the certified sauna list, you can see it. You can see the live EMF testing. And so that's why I get all bent out of shape, is because these people make claims and say that it's their high EMF. But if they've been in it, or if they came to my house and we went in the other room, because that's the thing. People say all this stuff, but I don't really need to say anything. I can just walk in the other room, take the meters, turn on the camera. You can ask me anything you want. You can ask any kind of EMF question that you have. We don't have to talk about it. I'm just going to show you. So to me, it's black and white. It's A and a B. Either the sauna passes the test or it doesn't. And so, you know, I don't know. That's my deal. But there is another part in here where you asked, here are the responses. Is this true? If so, why? Did you change your sauna recommendations from last year? Absolutely. Yes, I did. I have changed the sauna recommendations. And what for those of you who don't see this, it was in regards to this lady's comment, which I've spoken to this lady several times on the phone, very nice lady. She says it was only a few months ago that Matt was endorsing a different sauna, encouraging folks to purchase that one. Suddenly the reviews and the videos disappeared, and now he's endorsing another with no mention of his former favorite. Maybe that this guy is more of a marketeer than a reliable source of sauna information. Buyer beware. So she has a good point. However, sometimes you got to make hard choices in life. Right? And so if you were in the market for a car that could give you the best gas mileage, and I was the car salesman, and let's say it was a Toyota Prius, and last year they got 40 miles to the gallon. Let's say a 2019 model gets 40 miles to the gallon. But I know that they're coming out with a 2020, and I just tested it, and that fucker gets 65 miles to the gallon. And you've got a customer that comes in and says, hey, I want the best mileage, but we've got a ton of inventory of 2019s that get the 40. So I don't, you know, what would you rather have happen? Do you want the do you want the guy to lie to you and say, oh, you know, the 2020 models, they're not going to have that much better of gas mileage, right? Or do you want him to tell you the truth and be like, yeah, don't buy, you know, 2019s anymore because now the 2020s are far superior and the price is the same. This is the exact same thing that's happened with the saunas. Once I found out that there were other saunas, and you keep in mind, I bought the original saunas myself to use as a customer. Not only was I promoting them, I'm a user of them. So keep that in mind. It costs me money to do this stuff too. Now I totally understand why people get upset because it's a large purchase and they put a lot of faith and trust into somebody. But anyone that bought saunas from last year or from whenever, those saunas, they're far better off than if they would have bought a Costco sauna or an Amazon sauna. Go watch some of my other reviews. Some of those saunas were really bad. But you've got, you know, sometimes in life you've got to make hard choices. And so my choice was, you know, I found out about better saunas, and then it's like, man, do I uproot everything that I've done for the sake of integrity and for the sake of me using the best equipment that I can find and telling people about it? Do I uproot everything and piss people off, piss myself off, cost me money? You know, it's definitely not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy decision to make. But for me, that was the only decision to make. I can't just sit there when I know something out there and when I find something that's better, even though I'm fully invested. You know, I've got this shit in my house. I've got gazillions of videos on YouTube that talk about this stuff. People have bought things based on my recommendations. You think for a second that that's easy for me? Not at all. But you've got to make the hard choice sometimes in life. And I chose to make the hard choice, and what I think is the integrity-based choice and the honest choice is that, guys, it's 2019. There are saunas out here that test better, and that made me tighten up the EMF requirements. And so now, to answer the last part of your question, I just wanted to give some context there because there are people out there that are upset with me, and they have every right to be. I understand. They're right. I understand where they're coming from. At the same time, in that analogy with the Prius, you know, last year's versus this year's, I have to choose. Do I want to be the guy that lies to people and says, you know, the sauna that we thought was the best last year, you know, do you want me to hide for the fact from, you know, that new saunas came to light this year and they're test light years ahead of the ones from last year? Do you want me to just hide all that stuff? I can't do that because for me personally, it's a personal choice. I'm going to go and I'm going to uproot myself. I'm going to lose money and get rid of the saunas from last year. I'm going to go buy the better one. I'm going to use it. I'm going to promote that. Because for all the new people that have never bought a sauna before, it's not right. It's not right to mislead them. It's not right to steer them to a last year sauna that is pretty good when there's a sauna from this year that's very good. And so it's a tough position to be in because one is going to upset the other party, right? So if you keep recommending stuff and you don't advance, the new people, if they ever find out about that, they're gonna be so pissed. They're gonna be like, you motherfucker, why didn't you tell me about this shit? Why didn't you tell me there was a better sauna? Why didn't you update your reviews? And so, and the converse is true. People that have bought stuff last year and now new stuff comes out this year are gonna be pissed at you. They're like, damn it, you said this was the best. It was. So there's going to be, people are going to be unhappy with you no matter what. All I know how to do is make the best decision that I know possible for myself. And then whatever I do for myself, that's what I recommend to other people. And it sucks. It really sucks sometimes. It was something that has tugged at me for a long time because I know the impact that it has and I understand, the ripples that affect ripples and things like that and how it affects people. But at the end of the day, I believe that it's the right thing to do, and that's why I made that choice. And it's a very hard choice. It's very hard. But it brings me to closing. And what you said was, just want to make sure whatever sauna we buy, you list some brands, but the brand doesn't matter, is going to last. And I've had a lot of people ask me about this because I did change the sauna recommendations. And their concern is that, what if they buy one now and then next year, the same thing happens? That's a very valid concern. And you should be concerned about that, no matter what I say or anyone says. But let me explain or share with you what I did to combat that so that that doesn't happen anymore. Because I felt really bad about making that hard choice. I don't know if you can really tell or not. It matters to me, it really does. What I did, when I tell people that I raised the EMF thresholds for 2019, I tightened up the EMF certification standards. Like the standards that all saunas have to be below in order to make the certified sauna list is a lot tighter. It's a lot higher. And the reason that I did that is to help with this exact thing. Because I don't want to ever be in that position again where I have to make that exact same hard choice. I learned from that. I said, you know what? This is ridiculous. I don't ever want any one sauna company to be in charge of the thresholds that are safe for consumers, for myself, for my recommendations, for anything. So what I did was I created the list of certified saunas. And I set a threshold that's so high, or so low, I guess you could say, an EMF threshold that's so low, hardly any saunas on the planet qualify to be on the list of certified saunas. It's a very hard thing for them to do. I don't think you guys quite understand or grasp how much bullshit a sauna company has to go through to get on that list. They've got to have little to no RF radiation, which is Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. They've got to have hardly any electric fields in the sauna at all, because that will make the body voltage high. So they've got to have low body voltage. So electric fields have to be under 200 volts per meter. Body voltage has to be under 200 millivolts, which is really difficult for most carbon saunas to do, even some ceramics. Magnetic fields have to be under 1 milligauss or 0.5 milligauss throughout the entire seated position, right? And ultimately, it's all these things combined that make it really hard for sauna companies to compete at that level. And so what does this mean for you? What does it mean for you and I, the consumers or whatever? What this means is that any sauna that comes along now, that comes out next year or the year after that or whatever, that meets that requirement is so strict, right? That any sauna company that does a good enough job to get their sauna on the certified sauna list, the margin of benefit, like no sauna company is going to come out tomorrow and have something that is astronomically better than the certified saunas, because the threshold and the testing is set so stringent. It would only be marginally better, right? And so your Costco saunas and all this stuff, your EMF levels are way up here. Your little bit better saunas, like say your Sunlightens, but they still have electric fields because those aren't mitigated, or say here. And then the certified sauna level is way down here. You know, electric fields have to be under 200 volts per meter, magnetic fields under 1 milligauss, body voltage under 200 millivolts, little to no RF at all, preferably none. For a sauna to meet those requirements, so it comes out 2 years from now and it's amazing or whatever, you can't get too much lower than that. Do you understand? This is so hard for me to explain. I hope that it makes sense to people, but the reason that I set the threshold like that is so that this never happens. This is not an issue anymore. I wanted to solve this problem, both for myself, so that I don't feel bad when I gotta make hard choices like that, and to reduce the impact on future customers. So for the next 5 years, whatever sauna company could come out with whatever they want, and it's only gonna be marginally better than any sauna on the certified sauna list. And that's why you only see the 3 on there right now, because all the other sauna companies didn't make the cut. And so, I mean, that's also a decision that I have to contend with, because sauna companies will call you up and say, hey, can we just pay to play here? Like, can we just sponsor you or stick you on a salary, or can we do this, can we do that, and get our saunas included on the list? We'll send you a fleet of saunas, we'll do this, we'll do that. So it's a very ethical, it's a very personal decision to do that. I don't talk about that stuff because it's all behind the scenes, it's not really anyone's business, but I want you to know this is very much an integrity-based decision, recommendation, all this stuff. So I know that's a lot more than you asked for in this particular question, but I wanted to make sure I can send other people the link to this video and reference it so that things make sense, because some of those concerns are very valid. You have every right to the other thing that I would say is, at the end of the day, so I had a really good conversation with a customer yesterday, and she was asking me about some new medical saunas and Dr. Mercola and all this stuff, and is some new patented technology gonna, like, you know, totally revolutionize EMFs in saunas and yada yada yada. And you know, there's this big long conversation about it and whether it's valid and da-da-da-da. I'm at the point now where it takes 5 minutes for me to turn on a camera, take the meters, turn on the sauna, go in there and test it, and actually show you what the real life levels are in it. So why every sauna company is not doing that, I don't know. There's no reason for this long discourse or this criteria and all this other bullshit that people come across on forums and Facebook groups and YouTube, and customers with cell phone videos that are using an acoustimeter or a tri-field meter on the wrong setting to test a sauna, and then they go and share it with everybody and tell them how low EMF or how high EMF it is, and discrediting companies left and right. That stuff is bogus, man. It's the easiest thing in the world for a sauna company to test their sauna on live video. They could replicate what I do. Most of the time, though, that would put a lot of sauna companies out of business, because then you would see how high the different levels are. They don't really want to compete that way. That's why the certified sauna list is so elite. You know, these are the best saunas in the world as far as EMF levels are concerned. Anyway, we're getting on a rant here. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that helps somebody. We'll see you in tomorrow's video.